There comes a point in every man's life when the world seems to turn its back on him, when dreams feel too distant, when every step forward feels like a step through mud, and when hope starts to fade into silence. But it is in those very moments that greatness is born. It's not the applause, not the trophies, not the spotlight that defines a champion. It's the fire that refuses to die when everything else has gone dark, and few stories embody that truth more powerfully than the story of Ramon Dino, the boy from Brazil who became the king of classic physique, the man who proved that the strength of your spirit can outshine the weight of your circumstances. Ramon Dino's journey didn't start in fame or luxury. He wasn't born into privilege. He didn't have expensive gym memberships or sponsors waiting to discover him. He came from Acre, Brazil, a small, humble place far away from the bright lights of bodybuilding stages. For many, a dream like his would have felt impossible. But for Ramon, it was destiny, not because he was born for it, but because he decided to become it. In his early days, Ramon trained in simple, small gyms. No fancy machines, no advanced supplements, just pure passion and the will to grow. He built his body like a craftsman builds art, with patience, pain, and persistence. Each rep was more than a movement. It was a promise to himself, a promise that one day the world would know his name. When he first started competing, few noticed him. He wasn't the loudest, he wasn't the most followed, but he had something rare, an inner fire. While others trained for attention, Ramon trained for evolution. He wasn't chasing fame, he was chasing his potential. And that's what made the difference. You see, champions are not created in comfort. They are forged in moments of doubt, in the silence of early mornings when no one is watching. Ramon's path was filled with obstacles, financial struggles, setbacks, and times when the mirror showed more failure than progress. But instead of quitting, he chose to believe. He chose to stay disciplined when motivation ran dry. That's what separates winners from dreamers. Motivation fades, but discipline endures. As the years passed, Ramon's body transformed, but more importantly, his mindset evolved. He began to understand that bodybuilding isn't just about muscles. It's about mastery, mastery of mind, of emotions, of habits. He learned to push through fatigue, to fight pain with purpose, and then came the moment the world started to notice, his debut at the Mr. Olympia stage. For any bodybuilder, the Olympia is the ultimate dream, the Mount Everest of the sport. Ramon walked onto that stage not as a favorite, but as a dark horse, an unknown competitor with a heart of steel. And though he didn't win that year, the world saw something in him, the spark of a future champion. From that day, the journey accelerated. He went back home, hungrier than ever, more focused than ever. Every morning was a new war, every workout a battle. While others slept, he worked. While others doubted, he believed. He reminded himself of where he came from and how far he could still go. He started to place higher in competitions. The bodybuilding world began to whisper his name. Ramon Dino, they said, the future of classic physique. And soon, that whisper became a roar. In 2022, Ramon faced off against the reigning king, Cbum, the undisputed face of classic physique. Many believed no one could come close to Cbum's dominance, but Ramon stood tall, fearless, unshaken. He didn't win that year, but he finished second, and the message was clear. A new era was rising. For most people, second place would be enough. They would celebrate, slow down, maybe enjoy the fame. But Ramon was built differently. He wasn't chasing approval. He was chasing excellence. He went home again, not to rest, but to rebuild. He studied every weakness, every detail of his physique. He transformed setbacks into strategy. He didn't complain about what he didn't have. He maximized what he did have. That's what champions do. And behind the glory, there were still struggles, moments the world never saw, injuries, exhaustion, days when the body says no, but the mind whispers, keep going. Ramon faced it all and kept going. Because real greatness isn't about never falling. It's about rising every single time you do. Then came 2025, the year destiny finally met preparation. The lights of Las Vegas burned bright. The stage was set. The best physiques in the world stood ready. The crowd waited. And when Ramon Dino stepped onto that stage, there was a silence. The kind of silence that only greatness commands. His physique was flawless. Wide lats, a tight waist, symmetry that reminded fans of the golden era. But it wasn't just his body that spoke. It was his energy, his presence, his unbreakable belief. Every pose told a story of struggle, of pain, of perseverance. A story of a boy who dreamed in the dark and made the world his witness. When the judges announced the results, the world watched history unfold. Ramon Dino, Classic Physique Mr. Olympia Champion 2025. For the first time in history, a Brazilian had claimed the crown. The crowd erupted. The flag of Brazil waved high. And in that moment, every hardship, every sleepless night, every ounce of pain had found its purpose. But the story doesn't end there. Because Ramon's journey isn't just about a trophy, it's about transformation. It's a reminder that every one of us carries within us the same potential, the same strength, the same fire. You don't have to be a bodybuilder to understand Ramon's lesson. You just have to have a dream and the courage to fight for it. Maybe your dream isn't a stage. Maybe it's a business, a relationship, a career, or simply becoming a better version of yourself. But whatever it is, the rules are the same. You will struggle. You will fail. You will doubt yourself. But if you stay consistent, if you show up when it hurts, if you keep your focus when the world doubts you, then one day, you'll look back and realize that the person you became is far greater than anything you could have imagined. Ramon's story teaches us that you don't need perfect conditions to build greatness. You just need consistency and heart. He reminds us that discipline is stronger than motivation, that faith is stronger than fear, and that humility is the foundation of power. Even after becoming Mr. Olympia, Ramon stayed humble. He thanked his supporters, his family, his country. He never forgot where he came from, and that's what makes him more than a champion. That's what makes him a legend, because the real victory isn't standing on a stage, it's conquering yourself. Ramon Dino is proof that your background doesn't define your future. You do. If you're watching this, maybe you're going through your own struggle right now. Maybe life feels heavy and success seems far away. Maybe you feel like no one believes in you. But listen closely. You don't need them to believe. You just need to believe in yourself. Every time you choose effort over excuses, you take one step closer to your own version of greatness. Every time you say, "I'll try again tomorrow," you build the mindset that champions are made of. The world doesn't owe you an easy path. It owes you nothing. But life will always reward those who refuse to give up. Ramon Dino didn't have it all figured out. He just had a dream and the courage to chase it relentlessly. And that's what made him unstoppable. So the next time you doubt yourself, remember his story. Remember the young man who trained in a small gym, who had every reason to quit, but didn't. Remember that inside every one of us, there's a Dino, a fire waiting to rise. No matter how far you've fallen, no matter how slow your progress seems, remember this: progress is progress. Keep showing up, keep learning, keep believing. Because one day, when the lights finally shine on you, when success finally calls your name, you'll realize it wasn't luck. It was you. It was every single decision, every single rep, every single moment you refused to quit. That's what creates greatness. And when that moment comes, you'll understand exactly what Ramon Dino must have felt, standing under the lights, holding the trophy high not because he was born gifted, but because he earned every inch of that victory. So rise, fight for your dream, and never, ever give up. Because the world might not believe in you today, but one day, they'll tell your story the way we tell his. This is more than motivation. This is truth. Your struggle has meaning. Your effort has purpose. Your time is coming. If Ramon Dino could rise from nothing, so can you. Please count the character.